This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast, recorded at the Ontario House, the Stone Jug.
Okay, well, this is a new one then. So yeah, Captain's Jug of Thoughts, episode 25, maybe, actually.
Right around there.
Yeah, I think this is 25. If we're getting confused. We're recording all over the place.
Yeah, I know.
We're in Cap's apartment. Red Ruckus is cooking. Did you have a nickname when you were on? No? All right. Well, remember the girl? The one time we had a girl on?
Nicole Legendary.
Oh, Legendary. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're all having a ball in here.
Yeah. Cooking some dinner, getting things, having a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening at the Captain's
I don't know
house.
when this is. This will come out before the 25th, I think. So, yeah, the 25th, go to the Jug.
Yeah.
That's what we're plugging.
That's what we're plugging big time.
Yeah. Let's do. I'm trying to make fodder. I just want to get right into it. We're getting right into it this time.
Yeah.
You know where you're going. Go.
Yep.
Take it away, Cap.
So, we have Airbnb upstairs at the Jug, and we have had a lot of people staying there lately. And on Saturday, I get a phone call from the bartender that says, hey, is there any rooms available? And I go, I don't know. I'd have to get a hold of Nate. Nate's in charge of the rooms. And she's like, all right, well, there's this little chick here that's that wants a room. And she's saying, I know Eddie, just get me in the room, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, when the fuck is the last time this fucking chick was here? Eddie hasn't owned the place for 4 years.
Yeah, she's trying to drop a name.
Yeah, she's name dropping big time, and she's dropping the wrong names.
Yeah. Like going to the White House and being like, I'm friends with Reagan.
Yeah. Just get Nancy on the phone. We'll figure this all out.
We're old friends.
So, anyway, I'm like, all right. I'm like, let me get back to you. So I get back to her an hour later, and I'm like, yeah, the West Room's available. It's $90 for the night, and you're good to go. So
the West Room, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. The West Room is the one that looks out over the mouth of the lake.
All right, that's a good room.
Yeah,
that's where you want to be.
It's the best room.
You want to be in the West Room,
right? So, she's like, all right, well, she left, but she's coming back later, and now I was taking over. So I get there, and
that was the description, exactly what she said when she described this person to you.
This little chick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be funnier in a minute, I promise.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever. And so I get there, and this little chick shows up, and now I have seen her before. She's from Toronto, but she's a part of the sailing community, and she, for lack of a better phrase, suffers from dwarfism. Or not suffers from.
Let's preface this. This is a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's based out of a bar.
Yes.
We're gonna talk like real people.
Yeah.
All right.
So she's kind of a midget. She's a small person. And so she's like, hey, are you Chris? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you got that room for me? And I'm like, yeah, I got the room,
The West Room. And
I go, it's the West Room, otherwise known as Room 3.
It's the biggest one, that, right?
So she's like, all right, it's $90, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, I'm gonna pay you in cash, and I'm like, perfect. That's what we want. So she gives me the money, and I can tell that she's got a little buzz going on.
What kind of buzz?
A little one.
We can't be polite. Jokes are just flying past in my head, and I'm just like, I don't want to say that. That's not nice.
Say it all.
Was her money all funny, like little stars and clovers and shit? No, it was real money.
It was real money.
I feel better. Doesn't everybody feel better now?
Yeah.
I let the air out of the balloon.
Yeah.
That's what comedy's supposed to do.
I know.
I don't know if this.
It was even American, not Canadian.
Oh, how about that?
So it wasn't even plastic. It was paper money.
Wow, real money.
Yeah.
She's a self-aware person with dwarfism.
Right.
She's like, I can't be handing around plastic money with pictures of the Queen on it. People are gonna laugh.
Right.
That's what Willow used to use as coins. It was plastic money with a picture of the Queen, like she's British.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of any Willow connection anyone can make to me.
Right. So You know the mayor of Munchkinland was from here too, right?
From here? From Youngstown?
I think Niagara Falls.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
We got yeah.
We have some connections. So, anyway, so the night continues on, and she gets pretty loaded, and she's like, Chris, I need my key. And I'm like, I gave you your key 4 hours ago. You know, what are you talking about? She's like, no, I need my key to my room. And I'm like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't have it. I gave you one. She's like, well, I need a new one. I lost it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, listen, and I'm slammed. It's super fucking busy because there was an event down at the yacht club that night. And like every time that there's an event at the yacht club, the people end up drifting up the hill to the jug.
Yeah.
Like it's been like that for 50 years.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. We used to time gigs that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it would always work.
Yeah.
G-spot gigs would be timed to be like, oh, there's an event here. Let's be ready to go as soon as they clear out, and it would definitely be the dirty after party.
Exactly, and it's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she you know, she's like 3 different times. She's like, "Can you give me that key?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm busy, and I can't find." So we've got a lockbox for the keys for the upstairs that we keep all the keys to the upstairs in, but there's a main key for the lockbox, obviously, that only the bartender can get.
The master key.
Mm-hmm. So I can't find that set of keys, and it's like I'm rifling through my head, like going, "Where the fuck could it possibly be?" And then I remember, because when we have people stay upstairs, I always leave the set of master keys in the kitchen because that's where everyone has a key to come through.
Yeah, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
This is a show, you remember that.
Yeah, I know.
People listening. There's going to be drunk motherfuckers just sifting
Well,
through
the
your
kitchen's
keys.
locked, too. Only employees can get in there, so...
As long as the booze is locked with a key that nobody can get to.
Yeah, the booze is always locked with the key that no one can get to.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and steal 10,
It's gotta
10
be,
wings.
Yeah. It's got to be like when they set off a nuke and like 3 guys got to turn the key at the same time. You got to do a breatherlizer to get into the...
Right. And if you don't blow at least a 2-0,
So
you can't get it.
Yeah. So there's a whole key debacle happening.
So there's an entire key debacle happening, and I finally got a short break in the action. I know I said short.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So I like go to run back to the kitchen, and we have what we call the scullery right before the kitchen, and that's where like all the dishes get done, and we store all
That's
the
what you
extra
called it
dishes.
the last time. I've never heard it called that.
It's an old English word.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The scullery.
The scullery. Yeah.
I would think that's like somewhere where you keep skulls.
No.
Like the catacombs under Paris. Like,
Actually,
that's my scullery, and it's some room with a bunch of different skulls of different animals.
This
Pete probably has a scullery.
Yeah, Pete's definitely got a scullery. So we used to call this the guy that used to work in there. We used to call him Scullery Steve, and because like we're you'd be like, Scullery Steve, go get me some of this, you know. So it's almost like he's halfway between working in the kitchen and on one of the pirate ships. Yeah. So anyway, I'm heading back there, and all of a sudden, I see this girl. And she's standing in the scullery, topless, with a hose. Like the hose to clean our fryers.
Yeah.
Like we hook up this hose and we drain the fryers into this bucket and clean it. And she's standing topless in the scullery with a fucking hose. Right?
That's my favorite sentence ever.
And I'm like, and I like look and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you doing? Where's your shirt? And she's like, covers up her boobs. She's like, oh my God, I didn't expect anyone to be coming in here. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? And she's like, you're not supposed to be in here. I'm like, you're not supposed to be in here. Don't put this on me.
And you're certainly not supposed to be topless with the hose.
She goes, you need to know that I'm not doing anything wrong. And I go, you're not. I go, I can give you 3 things right off the top of my head that you're doing wrong. 1, you're topless. 2, you're holding our grease hose. 3, you're in the goddamn scullery. No one is allowed back here.
Number 1 wouldn't be that bad if she wasn't doing 2 and 3.
Well,
Yeah. So you got a good look at this little thing. What was the... So what was it like a... I don't know, what scale do you go on? You can't go 1 to 10, can you?
I don't know. Like, I mean, if, you know... And I'll be honest with you, in a normal situation,
It's in millimeters.
I would have known what to do. In this situation, I did not.
You're like, I've been in a lot of predicaments.
I have.
This one's got me stumped.
This one had me stumped. And so I like just walk past her and I'm like, put your shirt on. And I walk past her into the kitchen. She's like, I have to clean the floor. I'm like, is that why you have the hose?
Yeah.
So I think she thinks she's going to be like cleaning the floor with the hose for some reason. And I'm
think
like, what are you talking about?
Dude, we're being heightist. All right. We never see how dirty the floor is because we're not down there. She's down there all day. So she's like, I got to clean this, especially the jug. It's the whole building, you know? It's in the scullery. You ever been that close to a floor in a scullery?
No.
It's gross, man.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
want,
on her side.
yeah,
she wasn't doing anything wrong.
She wasn't doing anything wrong. So, anyway, so I go into the kitchen and I turn the light on, and there are saltines and butter all over the floor. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so this must be why she thinks she has to clean the floor. She was like scrounging for food all through the fucking. I can't. I have come up with no other explanation. It's now been 4 days, and believe me, every single day, and I even had one dream about this.
Oh, no. Dude, the shit from this show keeps lodging itself in our fucking heads.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, what else
What
could
was
she,
the dream about?
It was just a dream. I don't know. Like, I woke up, and there was, like, I was like, did I just have a butter and saltine, like, kitchen dream? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was fucking weird.
Butter and saltine kitchen dream.
Yeah, I know. It was really fucking bizarre. I don't know. I don't even remember if she was actually in the dream.
It was the butter and the saltines is what stuck.
Yeah, for whatever reason. So I'm in the kitchen and I fucking glance out into the scullery and she's still standing there topless. And I'm like, where is your shirt?
And there's someone in the bar who's like,
she's like,
hey, did some little kid lose a shirt? We found a child's shirt somewhere. I'm sorry. I have to say it or I might do something bad. This is how I get the bad thoughts out.
This child has relatively large breasts, it looks like.
Yeah. Hey, there's some stacked little kid running around without a shirt. All right, now that's my new favorite sentence.
Yeah, exactly. So we end up, I come back in there, and I see that her shirt is somehow entangled in the hose.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I don't know what the fuck she was doing with this hose.
If you would have came in 2 minutes later than you did, she would have been tied up in it, like dangling from the ceiling, tied up in the hose. Like
I know, probably.
Like she caught herself.
Yeah. And she also had no shoes on.
All right.
that part's not nearly as...
Yeah, I mean, a drunk person with no shoes. Half drunk people are shoeless right now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's not crazy.
Nah, it's not crazy.
There's little shoes running around.
So then...
Tomatoes. Beet.
Tomatoes? What? He's showing us... I didn't see what it said. It says
I don't
feed?
get it.
I make my own with tomatoes.
Oh, I don't know. Pete has some tomato situation happening.
Yeah.
And you know what's really funny is they're little cherry tomatoes.
They sure are.
They kind of go with the theme.
Yeah, they're little tiny tomatoes.
Yeah. So this chick's in the kitchen. She's in the scullery with her little cherry tomatoes sticking out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So nobody walked in though.
No, nobody walked in.
Dude.
Everybody was out at the bar. Now I'm in a little bit of a dilemma here too because she's like not putting her fucking shirt on. And I need her out of the scullery so that I can close the scullery so she can't get back into the kitchen.
Yeah.
However, I can't bring her out to the bar topless. So
You're in a predicament. You got to sneak her out the back.
So I'm like, look, here's your shirt. I'm like, put it on. And she's like, no, you're going to see. I'm like, I've already seen everything.
That's what you're worried about.
I'm
yeah.
like, here, I'll turn around. I'm like,
She's like, no, I'm very shy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going around ripping my shirt off in sculleries.
Yeah, I'm just walking around
a public place.
A public place without any fucking shirt on.
And then getting mad when people see.
Yeah.
Well, scullery, I just like that word. I'm just going to use it over and over.
Oh, yeah. Scullery tits.
Whatever.
So, anyway, I hand her shirt, and I turn around, and I'm like, are you putting it on? She's like, I am. And I turn back around, and she's not putting it on. And I'm just like, put your shirt on. And so I grab the shirt, and I get it completely ready for her so that she can just slide it on.
Like, as if she was... I don't know, a person.
As if she was my
who's-
child.
Yeah.
Yup.
That's, God damn it. You got to put her arms up and you're like, no, where are your shoes?
Yeah.
Where are you? Like a little, like a 2-year-old throwing a
Right.
tantrum.
Yep. So anyway, I end up. She finally gets her shirt on,
Hey, to
And,
put her in a backpack and sneak her out the
and
front.
she's like, do you have my key? And I'm like, oh God, we're going through this again.
Jesus, no.
I'm like, no, I don't have your key. You have your key. And she's like, I do. And I'm like, yeah, you have your key. And I just walked out to the bar. and then I call Nate. And I'm like, Nate, I can't find the fucking keys to the lockbox. And the people who are checking into the center room are now here. And the girl from the West room.
And Nate, one more thing.
I go from the girl from the West room. She can't find her key either, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna be there in like 20 minutes." So I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Can you please hurry?" I'm like, "The midget's topless in the scullery, and I like really need this done." And he goes, "Wait, what?" I go, "I gotta go." Click. And he comes there, and he's like. He comes straight behind the bar. He doesn't even like come around like he normally would.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did you see that there's a topless midget in this scullery?" I go, "I sure did, buddy."
Yeah.
He goes, "Not still, right?" I go, "No, not still."
That sounds like code for something.
I
Like
know.
you be in a walkie-talkie, like the
He's
topless
just staring
midget.
at me.
The midget is topless and she's in the scullery.
Yeah. He's just staring at me going, what? And I'm like, "Look, man, I don't know where she disappeared to. I haven't seen her in a while, but that doesn't really mean anything." So, anyway, he's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, I'm going to go get the key to the center room." I was like, "Look, I already checked the people in because while I was on the phone with Nate, he said that the room was open, so just go show him, and then he'll get the key when he came back, and he'll go give it to him." So he comes back downstairs, and he goes, "She's passed out in her bed." And I was like...
good.
Topless? He's like, "Oh, I didn't look that hard." I'm like, "All right." So, that's my topless midget story.
And then she was gone.
And then, then she was gone.
And you brought her up to somebody else, and they said she had been here years ago and like broke the glass door upstairs.
Eddie,
Eddie?
the old owner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She
was
did?
she was trying to get upstairs
She
somehow,
lost her key again.
and she broke one of the small windows at the bottom.
Well,
and-
yeah. We know.
yeah, we know.
There's a big window and a little window. She's like, "Should I break the whole door?" At least she was considerate.
Yeah.
She's like, "That's unnecessary."
I can squeeze through that one.
she dug a little hole in the wall and ran through.
We're evil, evil people.
No, she broke your door.
She did. She broke the door.
Once again, we're letting the pressure out. At the very beginning of the story, we were all trying to be like, well, she just happened to be a little...
Yeah,
and
you
then,
know how
no.
notice how we eased into that, and then we were just full bore.
For every awful thing I said, there was 5 things that went through my head that I didn't say.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Same here.
You're welcome.
Well, you heard me pause a couple times.
Yeah.
I need to think of a better phrase than that.
Yeah. That's really funny.
So anyway,
So shout out to her.
Yeah. I have a buddy. That now this is like I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe longer. And he comes to me and he goes, "Hardin," he's like, "I got the best story for you." And I'm like, "All right." And he goes, "So it was regatta weekend." He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I fucking pounded the fuck out of this midget last night." I'm like, "Dude, that's the best story?" He's like, "Dude," he's like, "she got power fucked by the fat man."
Like, yeah, that's not really a story. There's just kind of one sentence.
Yeah.
There's no arc.
I know. And he calls like whenever he takes his shirt off, he goes, "How much do you love the Great White North?" Because he's overweight and he's super Irish and white.
It's so
I know
funny.
you know who I'm talking
Everybody.
about.
Yeah.
That's the story.
He goes, "So she got power fucked by the fat man."
Power fuck.
Yeah, that's his opening line when he meets a girl. "You ever been power fucked by a fat man?"
And the midget was like, "No,
She's like, "No, but I'd like to try."
no, no. Can I stay with you though? I lost my key."
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh man. So anyway, so this is the same girl.
So I mean, did he probably enjoyed it, I guess.
I'm assuming.
Must have been fun. Different.
It definitely had to be different.
Like, when you see, like, those little tiny bottles of Coke? Like, that's cute. That's fun. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll try it.
Yeah. And then, there's like 100 little bottles all over your apartment. You're like, this went deep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to move to a 2-liter.
That's right.
We were in Office Max one day buying a printer. And there's like the aisles were like these little walls, these little like portable walls with the shelves on it with all the printers. And they were like shoulder height. I don't know, so you have 4 feet or something like that. 5, I don't know. A mile. I don't know. I'm terrible at that shit. They were tall enough where I could see over them. And I'm in one aisle looking at printers, and Lee's in the other aisle looking at printers.
Right.
And unbeknownst to her, there's a topless drunk midget. No, there was a tiny little lady. She was in my aisle looking at printers, but Lee couldn't see her because of the wall.
Right.
And Lee was stressing.
There was a 4-foot wall.
Yeah, she didn't know she was there. And Lee's shouting to me over the wall, stressing, I want like a small one. Like a tiny, I don't want a big printer. I want like tight, tiny, small, because we don't have a lot of room at the desk. We need it small. And I'm like, I got you. She's like, I don't want that one's too big. Smaller.
Just
And
a little one.
Yeah, just a little one. Just a tiny little big head, short arms printer. I'm just biting my lip. I'm like, sure thing, honey.
Sure thing, honey. I'm looking. We'll get in a minute.
And then I come down the aisle with all the notebooks, and the midget's topless.
It's weird how they do that.
Yeah. I mean, our friend, look, this is not polite towards the, I don't like the term little people. I think Bill Burr has a bit about that. It's like demeaning.
Yeah.
Like the little people.
Yeah.
And it's like that show, Little People, Big World. Like, they're doing shit that I'll never do in my life.
Yeah.
They're starting, like, businesses and living lives and having children and all this shit.
Right.
They're not little people. I'm a little person compared to them. I feel like little people is like the inside.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a fucking, I don't know. So whatever the fuck you want to be called.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, our friend, my friend, I don't know, a guy I did a podcast with 5 years ago. That really dropped.
Wow.
I don't even know if I know his last name. But
Some guy.
He owned a bar, and they would do Cinco de Mayo, and they would order midgets.
Yeah.
And they would, and he was like, dude, they're crazy. I mean, this doesn't go for the whole population. This goes for this exact crew he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, they pull up in this old, like, revamped ice cream truck that they all, like, live and travel in.
Right.
And he's like, dude, they're dirty. They smell. Like, not everyone, but this particular group of them.
Right.
And he's like, they'll fucking do it. They're crazy. They fucking drink like crazy. They do drugs like fucking crazy.
Right.
And he's like, they're just loud. They party. That's why they get them to come to the party. They dress them all up with the hat and everything.
Yeah, of course.
And they're the life of the party. He's like, but don't pick them up. He's like, you can do anything.
You can do
you
anything.
You like pull your dick out and put it on his head and he'll laugh and take a picture. And, like,
Yeah,
they're
right.
crazy. But if you pat him on the head or pick him up, they're like, that's my line, motherfucker.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
You're getting kicked. You're getting a straight shot to the balls.
Right. And that's like power from,
Yeah,
from them, because that's like a straight shot. Like,
they're dense.
Oh, man. So
We'll make fun of tall people next.
Yeah, yep. We'll definitely get there.
Yeah, have fun reaching stuff, you big douche.
Bet you can't reach the floor. Do this.
This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast. Recorded at the Ontario House. The Stone Jug.
Oh, hey, back to that story from last week. The one where Brett's chasing the kids on the chairs in the sky.
Yeah.
And the punchline is the kid said, "At least I'll lose my virginity to something."
To something, implying that Brett has not lost his virginity yet.
And this kid's gonna lose his virginity, but to something.
Yeah, it could possibly be his friend that he was riding on the lift
No,
with.
he didn't say someone. He said he didn't say someone. He said something.
He said something.
So he's like, he's gonna lose it to, I don't know, fucking.
He might go to a Mexican donkey show for all we know.
Yeah. While that kid was there, his mom was doing his laundry and found a Nerf football with a hole dug out in
With
it.
a hole dug out in it.
Yeah. But
I got a nice cantaloupe in the fridge of the jug. In the scullery.
the scullery.
I do.
So I come in and this little kid's fucking a cantaloupe in the scullery.
Yeah.
But the way you remember how we were saying we always text each other like little phrases
Yes.
for stories so we don't forget. The one you texted me just said "little kid's virginity."
I know.
There were so many other ways to convey that story without that incriminating ass text to both of us. I think that text might have brought down Epstein because he just got arrested.
Yeah.
I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That set off something.
Well, I mean, I know that we don't do anything incriminating, so
Yeah.
I don't, well, nothing too
I was at
incriminating.
Barnaroo. We were setting up at Barnaroo and my phone bloop.
Yep.
And I look at it. I'm like, oh, shit.
I better erase that.
Yeah. I'm like, nobody. It's nobody. Who's that?
It's nobody. Well, I always only send you like 3-word phrases so that I don't give any of the story away, really.
Little kid's virginity.
Like, it's just
well,
like a
you didn't
headline.
give the story away. You made me think it was a way worse story.
Right. Well, I also like for your mind to travel into different realms.
And
Well,
it's always unexpected.
before we do another show.
And that's how it's. Hey, how does little kid's virginity start? Well, Brett's wasted. I'm like, oh shit, no.
Oh no! Should I pull the plug right now?
Man, at least I'm gonna lose my virginity. If I'm ever about to get my ass kicked, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, at least I'm gonna lose my virginity to something. And as they're confused and bewildered by what I just said, I'm just gonna run away.
I would kick him in the balls and run.
Yeah. Like I gave them they're just perplexed and they won't even know how to react.
Who
and all.
wouldn't be perplexed?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, last month or something like that, I'm in Miami. I think it was because we brought up the Will Smith song. It got me in the mood. So I'm down there, and we had just a long day of traveling and flights and fucking sitting with people in meetings and driving, and it's hot, and it fucking sucked. And I finally got back to the hotel, take a shower, and just crash, like, hard. And
Right.
we are on the 29th floor, which it was the penthouse of this place, but it wasn't. It was a room that was high up. I don't know why they were calling it penthouse.
Okay.
It wasn't that fancy. It was nice as fuck. It was pretty fancy, but like whatever. Anyways, sidetracked. So I crashed the fuck out. And I'm woken up. Well, Lee has to leave in the morning before I get up. So she leaves and I'm like, yeah, there's 2 hotel keys on the counter. Take one and go do whatever you got to do. So I'm sound asleep. And I get woken up by fucking whoop, whoop, whoop. There's a fire in the building. Please exit immediately.
Really?
Whoop, whoop. Dude, like loud as fuck in my room. Like, and I'm kind of like drifting out of it. And then like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then like, please evacuate immediately. Do not use the elevators. And it was like intense. Like it was serious. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking real.
Right.
So I'm woken out of a dead sleep and I'm running around and I'm fucking looking for like my pants. And I'm looking for fucking all my shit, and I'm looking for a hotel key, and I can't find it. Pizza fucking waiter poured him a glass of wine.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. I just texted him, hey man, can you
did
grab me
you?
the wine?
I was wondering, dude. So we got a whole thing going on. Yeah,
Thanks, bud.
that's how a professional show does it.
That's right.
That's funny.
And then we laugh about it after.
He should have had like a towel over his arm. Good. Yeah, so I'm running around. I'm looking for my fucking pants. I'm looking for my shirt. I'm looking for a hotel key, and I can't find a key.
Right.
And I'm like, the thing's going off, and it's been going off for a few minutes. And it's like, don't use the elevator. And I'm on the 29th floor.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die up here. Like that was the thought in my head. I need to get the fuck out of here. And I'm literally about to run out of my room without a key, so I wouldn't be able to get back in. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna die. I'm grabbing my laptop and I'm fucking
Yeah, I
going.
think it's a little more important
Yeah.
to live.
And like, dude, as I'm running out, the fucking thing stops. And a guy comes on the intercom. And he's like, sorry, that's not sorry. That's fake. False alarm. You're fine. There's no fire. Okay, we're really sorry about that.
Yeah.
And then like you hear him go, Jesus fucking Christ, and then click.
Really?
I think someone pulled an alarm or they had some sort of malfunction. And like, I'm glad I didn't run it because she ended up taking both keys and I was stuck Like, I wouldn't have been able to get back in. I would be at the front desk in my fucking underwear. He's like, hi.
Right.
But yeah,
I've been there.
that was fucking crazy, man. I mean, like, the alarm was like, wasn't like, this is a fire drill. It was like, get the fuck out. There's a fire. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I thought some shit was really going down, but no, it wasn't.
When I first moved back here into town, I rented just a room over at what was the old, what was it called? I can't remember. But anyway, there's above the gym, there's like there's a bunch of rooms that you can rent.
Yeah.
And well, on the first floor there's offices, and then there's a second and a third floor that you can rent rooms at over there. And there's like a big loft apartment on the third floor. It's fucking beautiful. It looks out over the mouth of the river. It's really, really nice.
That's your spot.
Yeah.
Over the mouth of the river.
Right, I know, dude. Everywhere I live, I can see the mouth of the river. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most beautiful things on earth, probably.
Yeah.
It really is. So, anyway, this one night I get all torn up at the jug. It was my night off, and I just get torn up, you know. And then we end up hanging out in the back afterwards, and we're all like, just like, you know, there's like 4 of us, like, till I don't know, 4:30 in the morning, right? And I'm like, all right, I gotta go, you know. So I go over there, I open the door at the bottom of the stairs, and it's like, warning, carbon monoxide.
Oh,
warning, carbon monoxide. Warning. And it just and I'm like, what the fuck? So I like run in because I don't know. There was somebody staying in the other room like a couple nights before this. And I knew that. So I'm like, all right, here we go. I run into the building, and I run up to the room that I thought that someone was in, and I like pound on the door. I'm like, hello, and then I open the door because the doors aren't locked if there's no one staying in them. And I go in there and I look all around. Then
So you're in like rescue me mode.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be a hero.
Well,
but you're all
believe
fucked
me.
up. Yeah.
This is the last thing I want to do, you know. But I also I'm like, I'm not gonna let somebody die, you know. So I run in there. I run into the other rooms real fast. I run back outside, and I'm like, the fuck do I do? So I call my buddy, who works for the fire department, and I'm like, hey man. And he answers the phone because it's 5 in the morning, and he knows that there's no fucking way I'm calling him at 5 in the morning unless there's a problem.
There's something going on, yeah.
And he's like, you're about the only person whose fucking phone call I would have answered right now. He's like, what's wrong? You know? And I go, dude, listen, at my building, like this fucking this thing's going off, saying like warning carbon monoxide. There's like all these real loud beeps, and like, you know, I don't know what to do. And he's like, well. He goes, call the police, and then they'll dispatch us. And I go, I don't want to call the police. And he's like, well, you have to. And I go, well, maybe I can just wait till tomorrow.
I'm not going to let anybody die. Or you got to call the cops.
He goes, is anyone else in the building? I go, no, I already checked. And he's like, are you sure? And I go, well, I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
I go, but, you know, I looked pretty good, but it was kind of dark. Like, if the carbon monoxide already hit them, and they're like, they fell somewhere.
Yeah.
I may not have seen them. But hopefully everyone's still good.
Yeah. I'm not going to let anybody die. You got to call the cops. You know, overpopulation, and, you know, the planet just can't sustain. This is just one of those acts of God, you know?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. He had a good run. He was 17.
So he's like, dude, you got to call him. Like, you can't just, like,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, you call him. He's like, I can't call him. And I'm like, why can't you call him? And he's like, I'm not there. I'm like, well, just come over.
You got to drop an anonymous tip.
I'm like, just come on down, buddy. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, just fucking call him, you pussy. And I'm like, let me ask you something. If I call him, are they going to go in my room? And he's like, you're an idiot. No. I was like, all right, bye.
All right, good. Yeah.
So
you're
I
in
call.
there, you're like in there holding your breath, trying to clean your room out.
I ran back in. But I call them, and they dispatch everyone. And at 5:30 in the morning, in our quaint, quiet little town,
Oh, Jesus.
Main Street is lit up. Like, they brought the whole fucking brigade. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, there's like a fire truck, an ambulance, paramedics.
Because they're
3
thinking
cop
there
cars.
might be an apartment building full of fucking carbon
I'm
monoxide
like,
poisoning.
oh my
Like,
fucking God. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, this is why I didn't want to call.
you couldn't just like, I know it's not the days you go grab a fucking payphone and drop an anonymous tip and then
No.
just run away.
No.
Yeah.
And they're all asking me questions, and I'm like, maybe? And I'm like, can you repeat that, please? I'm like,
Hey.
I'm on trial or something.
Yeah, I want to plead the fifth, and
Like, I don't think I can answer that question.
I got some questions, officer. Which one of you is taking me McDonald's?
So, they go. So, like, they send in the fucking guys with the masks and the fucking screeners, like the,
It's a whole thing now.
It's a whole thing, dude. So they send all these, and now I know half these people because I'm from this town, and so are they.
Yeah.
And so they send these guys in, and they go through the whole building. And now, meanwhile, the alarm had stopped. So they go in with all the fucking testers and everything, and they come back out, and they're like, nope, it's good. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, it's, false alarm. They actually brought me in afterwards, and they were like, where did you hear it coming from? And I'm like, everywhere. Like, the whole building was like, warning, carbon monoxide. But, like, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, my God. Like, so, like, they're like, no, everything's fine. Like, whatever. I'm like, so I can sleep here tonight? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Should I sleep with the window open at least? And it's fucking February.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like pissed that I had to wait outside for him. Like,
Yeah, you were so ready to go home and crash.
I was so ready. Luckily,
that's
I
the
was
worst.
drunk because it was only like 8 degrees out. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have really felt it. So anyway, everyone leaves after like an
Dude,
hour.
From their perspective, it's so funny. You're just like swaying. Your eyes are closed. They're like, where did you hear it? And you're just like, fucking everywhere.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere, man. It was crazy.
Well, they made me come in, and like I pointed out the areas that it was really strong. Like I was like, right there, and right there,
And that's like
and especially right around here.
not at all where you thought your night was going.
No, not at all.
Now you're in a carbon monoxide investigation.
Yeah. So, so everyone leaves, and I'm like kind of wound up now, So I go back over and let myself into the jug, pour myself a shot,
Yeah.
open myself a beer,
Yeah.
and I sit down
It's a hell of a
and
day.
turn on SportsCenter, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I can't believe that just fucking happened. What the
Yeah.
fuck,
Hey, it could have been worse. Yeah, with Jesus.
So I go back over there, and I go into my room, and I get undressed, and I fucking crawl into bed. As soon as my head hits the pillow, warning, carbon monoxide. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I don't care. I'll take it.
So I walked out of the building, and I fucking am just like, I call my buddy again, and I walk back into the building with the phone, and I go, do you hear it? He goes, holy fuck, that is loud.
Yeah.
I go, no shit, it's fucking loud. And I was like, so now what? He's like, well, you can call again. And I go, no, I'm not calling again. I go, I'm going to sleep at the jug. So I came over to the jug, and I went upstairs and went to bed.
Wow. Yeah, because, dude, I get it. Like, it's the whole thing. I hate that feeling of, like, here we go. Like, this shit's not going to go back to normal for a few hours now.
Right.
I was saying the other day, I was like, any sort of car accident, I either want, like, no fender benders. Because then you got to stop. You got to talk to the guy.
Sure.
If it's too bad, you got to call the thing. There's
Yep.
all this fucking paperwork, all this shit. I was like, I want it to be, like, I want to either just die or just get knocked into a fucking coma. So when I wake up, I'm just like, it's been a few weeks. Everything's taken care of. All the paperwork. We filled out all the forms. You're good. Just here's your medication and you're fine. Like, you missed the shitty part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, either nothing or knock the fuck out.
You can go.
Yeah. Because you're just like, oh, God, damn it. Here we go.
Yep.
This will be a whole thing.
Right.
That's pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
Alarm well, I mean, that alarm could have saved your life, and you'd be like, thank God for that thing.
Right.
It's a miracle device. And when it's just going off, you're like, this is the fucking
Well,
work of the devil.
I found out that because the entire building's connected, and they had just put They put all new stuff in the basement.
Yeah.
And there was a small, very small, like, leak in the basement, which was right
Which was setting it off.
which was right next to the first sensor in the building, the first carbon monoxide sensor.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's setting it off. So it's
yeah, but it was so small that
Yeah.
it couldn't have done anything. Like, it was just like, plus it was like 2 or 3 floors away from me, and whatever. Anyway, I found out that that's what it was when they were putting the hot water tank in, the new hot water tank. They like nudged something, and it just like loosened it enough that it was like this super tiny, like no leak at all really, but just enough because the sensor was so close to it
that it would set it off.
that it would set it off.
Well, that's a fucking design flaw.
Yeah.
Or a life-saving device.
Well, I mean, it could have been,
Yeah.
because I mean, even small amounts of carbon monoxide can really,
We've had I had a neighbor whose like car alarm was doing that. Like you could tell they were having trouble with it because it would be off for a little bit and then it would just be going, and then finally it would turn off and you saw him like out working on it and then it would just fucking start up again and it would just start going and going and it was just like that'll drive you insane.
Yeah,
it's maddening.
Right,
it's crazy.
Okay.
All right. While I was in Portland, we brought up the homeless sign that the guy had. Remember there was homeless and pregnant. And then there was need money for karate lessons.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good one while we were in Portland. There's a lot of homeless people, but then a lot of kids who are just like runaways. You know what I mean? Kids who could like, dude, you could call your dad right now and he'll come get you.
Yeah,
type
exactly.
Of thing. I'm homeless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but we walked through this pack of kids, and I should have walked around them.
Like a pack of wolves.
Yeah, and they had dogs with them. You couldn't decipher which was a dog or which was a kid. They were all hairy and dirty. And I walked through. And the one kid goes, "Hey man, you got a couple bucks for dinner, so I don't have to eat my dog tonight." That is pretty funny. So I kind of smirked, and as I was walking away, I was like, "Hey, the dog looks delicious, man." And one of the girls was like, "That's fucked up." So I was like, "That's pretty good."
Right.
He might get a few bucks off of that.
The dog looks delicious.
Oh, all right. Let's go with the theme. One of the I've always tried to explain this, and it's like one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and the circumstances are part of it. Me and a friend of ours and some other friends, we were all going up to Spot Coffee in Buffalo.
Okay.
And it was honestly with a group of people I didn't really feel like meeting up with. The whole thing was kind of shitty.
Okay.
We didn't really want to go. Kind of had to maintain some sort, just one of those events.
Sure.
One of those social things that you're like, I should do this, but I don't want to. Mm-hmm. So we were like, oh, let's fucking get really baked.
Yeah,
and that'll
course.
fix it. Yeah. And it was one of those like, I wish I wasn't really baked for this.
Yeah.
It was just awkward and weird.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
So we're sitting outside, and there's the streets are pretty empty, and then comes walking up is a midget, and
all right, we're back,
and a giant woman, a midget
really?
and a giant, a humongous person and a tiny person.
That's awesome.
The humongous person is dressed like an all black kind of gothy, you know.
Okay.
The midget's dressed like a leprechaun.
Shut the fuck up.
Nowhere near St. Patrick's Day. Because it was like...
It's August.
We were sitting outside at night, and we're in Buffalo. So I don't think it was March. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least a couple weeks before. It was a nice night. I remember that. And it was a little drafty. It was kind of windy. So these two walk inside, and you're just kind of like, man, that's like an old fairy tale or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they found, like they're friends.
Yeah.
And she's dressed like a leprechaun. Must be some party.
Marilyn Manson and a leprechaun?
Yeah, exactly. And Wee Man. Wee Man, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, there you go.
Danny DeVito. So
Danny DeVito.
they go inside, and we're watching them through the window. And I don't think they bought anything. I think they just one of them used the bathroom while the other one distracted them. It was kind of this whole Penn and Teller routine they had worked out. And then as they're walking out, the streets are empty. There's nothing going on. A little gust of wind comes and blows her leprechaun hat off.
Okay.
And she's just like, oh no. And then in the silent night, echoing through the streets, you just hear like just little the pitter patter. And I'm watching a midget dressed like a leprechaun chase her hat as it blows down the street like a fucking cartoon.
Oh no. you.
And I'm like, I'm baked, but I'm miserable because of where I'm at. And then I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's like one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
Right.
But like, I can't laugh. Like, my brain was broken. It was so fucking funny, but weird. Like, I don't think I've ever laughed at it. I'm just like, my brain goes like, that is a magical thing that just happened.
Right.
That just made this whole thing worth it. That was funny.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, good for them. Shout outs to the little people of the world. You're not little people. You're big people. You're as big as you are on the inside. Fuck the outside.
That's right.
I don't know. But it would have been really funny if somebody walked into the Scullery and saw you with a topless midget, and there's a bunch of butter and saltines all over the
There's
ground.
butter, saltines, and a hose.
And a hose. Like, Captain.
What? I'm making some side cash here. Get the fuck out.
This is the line, dude. We were all wondering where the line is. This is it.
This is it.
Naked midget in the Scullery.
You guys thought I was afraid.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout outs to them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Tell your friends. Tell your friends about the show. It's on iTunes.
Absolutely.
It's all over the place. We do some videos here and there. I'll do more. If you got like a favorite bit or something, we'll do like little animated videos of it.
Yeah.
You know, let us know. Leave a comment on a Facebook thing. All the pictures from the shows and, you know, any non-incriminating evidence we can put up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go right on the old Facebook page.
Sure will.
Funny Facebook story. When I started that Thermopolis page, you know, it's not me. It's just a profile I had to start because I didn't use Facebook for years and it was glorious.
Yeah.
But through the bands and through this and through just shit you got to do, like some like booking people will be like, oh, send us a Facebook message. Like, you just need it. It's part of fucking Zuckerberg, that son of a bitch.
That son of
that
a bitch.
Bionic son of a bitch roped us in. He got us. Like, every
got
time
us.
I didn't have it for years and it was great, but I also like was on a vacation from the world.
I almost never use it.
No, I never do, except to go post this episode.
I get it.
So one day, I went to post an episode of the show.
Yeah.
And I've got, like, now I started this profile. I didn't put any of my actual information in it. Like, it's not my name. It's not me. And for the birthday, I must have just picked a random day.
Right.
And because I go in and there's, like, a ton of fucking things. They're like, happy birthday. Mostly from people I don't know, because I also just will hit friend request on everything I see. I don't look at the name. I just click because I want, dude, throw the biggest net you can.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
If anybody, people, like, I don't, like, you know, we're not going to build a network through, like, motherfuckers I went to high school with. Who gives
No.
You're like, no, you just hit friend request on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And then see who sticks around.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe that's how Zuckerberg did it.
Maybe.
So I'm going to get a ton of happy birthdays.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, which was not even close to my birthday. So it was really funny. But it was nice that everybody cared. That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, and then I come to the Jug, and there's a magazine, like a Revolver magazine, like a music magazine.
Yeah.
And it says, happy birthday, and because, like, someone brought it, and they left it there, and they're like, oh, we wrote happy birthday on it for you. I'm like, oh, that's great. Still way off.
Still not my birthday.
Yeah. My actual birthday, none of you motherfuckers heard from anybody. I don't care.
Never heard from anybody.
I know. People go, what do you want?
When is your birthday?
It's in December. It's December 7th, which
All
is
right.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Me, Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, the whole crew.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. So, and everybody, you know, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, nothing. What do you want? Nothing. Oh,
Right.
come on, we got
I
to do
know.
something. Like, no, you're not listening. Nothing.
Yeah.
Every day is something.
I know everybody says nothing.
No,
but
that's
I
what I
really
want.
want to do nothing.
You know what I don't get every day is nothing. Because
Yeah.
there's always some shit to do. There's always
Exactly.
something.
Right.
Which is fine. Some days it's fun. Some days it's not.
Absolutely.
I want nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, let's do a party. I'm like, no, that's a giant fucking headache.
Yeah.
Because you want to do it at my house. Because my house is fucking cool.
Right.
Now I got to clean and cook for everything. This is not nothing. This
No.
is everything.
This is everything.
So December 7th. Don't
this is
even
way
fucking
too
talk
much.
to me.
There, you heard
I'm
it here.
reflecting.
You heard it here, folks.
We lost a
On
lot of
December 7th, leave Thurman the fuck alone.
we lost a lot of good men that day.
You can say happy birthday,
I don't want to talk about
but
it.
don't do anything else.
Yeah. All right. Captain's Jug of Thoughts. Happy birthday. I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's probably somebody's birthday, and if it is yours, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast. Recorded Recorded at the Ontario House. The Stone Jug.